Warning, warning, this video contains opinions. If you are a special snowflake and cannot take criticism of possibly a game you like, or cannot accept the idea of other people having different opinions than you, please go away. The rest of you, I hope you enjoy. Hello everyone, my name is BadInfos, and I would like to show you the 10 worst games ever made in my opinion. I have been a PC gamer since 2002, and in those 17 years I have seen a lot of crap out there. Buggy, unfinished, uninteresting, crappy, ugly games all around. Whenever I hear that a game is bad, I usually stay away from it. And that's why I haven't played the widely accepted worst games out there. However, sometimes I get fooled into buying some really awful games, and I wanna show them to you. They range from the year 2000 all the way to 2017. Here are the 10 worst games ever released. Need for Speed Porsche Unleashed. Yep, a very popular classic NFS game, liked by a huge variety of people. Thousands upon thousands of players want this game remade. Some still play this port 19 years after release. Well, I hated it. Get used to it, because some of the games here you might actually love yourself. When I played it first in maybe 2005 or 2006, I had a lot of experience with the other NFS titles. I loved the franchise and every single game was to my liking. Well, when I tried out Porsche, I was utterly disappointed. The game is definitely not made for a keyboard in mind. I can play any other game just fine with a keyboard. I have beaten over 40-50 games like that. A controller or wheel was not needed. But here, this was the only game where that is impossible. It's not that the game is utterly bad, it's just that I couldn't do anything in it. I spun at every corner, the cars were really sluggish, the music was weird and boring. Yeah. For me it was awful, and if I played with a wheel in the future, I would probably like it.
3, 2, 1, go!
Expand Rally Extreme. I have always been a huge fan of rally games. I have played over 15 of them, but Expand Rally and Expand Rally Extreme are the only ones which I don't like. Don't get me wrong, the gameplay, handling, visuals and tracks are all great. Lots of dirt, beautiful locations for 2006 standards, and so on. What I dislike about it is the progression. The game is very punishing, and if you ever plan on beating it, you may have to restart from the beginning very often. Let me give you an example. You are driving along, you win races, get money, spend 10, 20, 30 hours beating the other opponents. All of a sudden, in the middle of a race, your tire pops. You crash into a tree, the car flips a few times and is barely a car anymore. That's your best vehicle currently, and you spent all your hard-earned money on it. Now it's just a pile of scrap. You are now forced to sell it, because repairing it is out of the question. What you're left with now is your slow and crappy car. You use it for races, but can never win. You need to repair it constantly, but don't have cash because you can't win any. What do? Nothing, that's it. You cannot progress any further. This often happens out of your control too, which is the annoying part. Alternatively, you could fall off a cliff, and guess what? The driver dies. He just dies. And you have to restart from the beginning again. What the hell? A great game with a bad execution. WRC Powerslide. Powerslide. Powerslide in theory should be a pretty good game with a unique play and art style, but fall flat on its face pretty hard. The music is incredible, graphics are fine, the handling as well, that's it for the good. The bad is a lot more. First of all, you cannot rebind the controls, that's an instant red flag. You have to use the arrow keys in a racing game. Need I say more? Oh, trust me, I will. The camera movement is very glitchy. It is predetermined. It does not follow the car, so taking a wider turn will make the camera lose you and you'll be on the top or bottom of the screen, trying to figure out where the camera wants you to be. Sometimes it often stays behind a tree and you have no idea where you are or what to do. Oh, and it glitches through the roads too, making you look into the void. Very sloppy. Not only the camera is glitchy though, sometimes the cars will have big saturation, other times they can be blurry or have a big bright glow. The menus are not mouse driven and some options are hidden behind 5+ sub-menus, making you press buttons for a while before you figure out where a certain option is hidden. All the cars except one are exactly the same. The power-ups pretty much only affect you. Yeah guys, I do not recommend this game, it's a great idea but poorly executed.
Что за жизнь такая? Ну, невозможно. Ненавижу. Божечки мои!
OSP как достать квартиру, also known as Neighbors from Hell 9 by many people. This abomination of a game can sometimes actually be very fun. The locations you play at are sometimes intriguing. You can be in a circus, a garage, in your granny's house, at a concert and many more. The characters, while super ugly, are interesting to look at. The animations look like they're from a game from 2001, but I won't fault it that much, maybe they didn't have a big budget. Understandable. My issues come here. See, this is a point and click game. You point, you click, and your character does whatever you tell him. Then why the hell does the main mechanic of the game only work 60% of the time? Often clicking on an item does nothing. Moving the camera around, clicking on other things and then clicking back on that item magically fixes it. The playable characters also get stuck often and sometimes are seen by the enemies when they shouldn't. That and the ugliness of the characters make it a pretty crappy game. I did beat it at 100%, but you should definitely not play it. Worms 3D. What happens when you take a beloved franchise by millions of players? You use the characters from the previous games, you use the same sound, music and idea from before, and completely change the rest for the worst. You get Worms 3D. I cannot fathom why the hell the developers decided to change the franchise so much. What we had before was a cute, casual, family game suited for absolutely all ages. I played it as a 10-year-old. I'm playing it still as a 27-year-old. Talking about the Worms World Party, of course. They went in there and made it 3D, taking out all the fun and replacing it with tedious climbing, inferior weapons and horrible camera angles. Finding the worm you wanna kill takes twice as long as before. They're really ugly and oh man, I really cannot say anything good about the game, can I? It's that bad, guys. Worms World Party was one of my favorites when it released. 3D ruined the franchise to me and I never looked back again. Just cause. Whoa, I can hear the big dislike button knocking on my door from the console players out there. Oh, Yeah, if you're a console player and play this game on anything apart from a PC, you probably had a great time. The game ran okay, the controls were fine, the camera angles too. On the PC, however, it's a whole nother story. This has got to be the worst PC port of a game ever made. Well, not sure if it's the worst, but it's very high up there. I can tolerate a lot. I mean, I completed Saints Row 2 on the PC, and that port is horrific. This, however, is nothing like you have seen before. A locked frame rate, often dropping below 30 FPS. Terrible mouse movement, with mouse acceleration, making you miss your target constantly, and so many more. I decided to give the franchise a try and was very disappointed. It's a shame because apparently the game is very good on console. Sadly, I'll never experience the joy others did. Slender The Arrival, a game made solely as a cash-in. It's bland, uninteresting and filled with so many unneeded jump scares. When you first load it up, you see a good-looking game with simple controls. Not much to remember. You walk around, admire the scenery, go into a house, all fine and dandy, but nothing changes after that. You get a few jump scares, Slenderman is unfair, teleporting all over the place, the AI is abysmal, and overall it's pretty boring. I'll beat the game someday just to see how it ends, but from what I have seen in the first hour it's really bad. The first game is miles ahead and that one sucked too. Quick reminder about what I said in the beginning, we are down to the final 3. If you disagree, that's great, let me know why. Don't start flame wars and listen to what I have to say before voicing your own opinion. This is needed to be said because the next game is...
Welcome. You're safe with me. I'll be right here. Nice and close so I can speak without alerting the others.
Hellblade Sinuous Sacrifice. Hey, shh, quiet. I am very well aware that this game is critically acclaimed, that it won many awards, that it's genre defining, and that it's on many people's top 10 lists of all time because of how unique it was. Well, for me this is the most frustrating game I have ever laid my hands on. If you pay me money, I would never torture myself like that ever again. Let me explain. First of all, the game is gorgeous. Seriously, it looks fascinating. And it's one of the most beautifully detailed games out there. It's dark and scary whenever it wants to, but also calm and serene in other places. The characters' facial expressions are also miles ahead of many other titles. Senua looks real and you can feel her pain and connect with her in a way that is impossible in other games. That, however, is not enough for me to enjoy this piece of crap if the rest of this so-called game is very frustrating. Let's start with the voices. Senua, having a mental disease, constantly hears voices. Everyone recommends using headphones, so you can be truly immersed. Fine, I put them on. Yeah, you get immersed. But the audio levels are very inconsistent. One moment you can't hear anything because they whisper too quietly. Others, they blow your head off by screaming. You have to constantly adjust your volume and can never get it just right and not have to adjust it again. The other huge issue is the gameplay. The combat is too basic. You time and hit, time and hit, time and hit. No thought, no strategy. You wait for someone to swing, you swing back. Often you can't see them and you die in a very cheap way. The voices don't even help because they don't shut up anyway, and even if they warn you, it could be a false alarm. The puzzles are abysmal too. Solving a puzzle could take you 10 seconds, but no, Senua has to walk like a snail and she has to be pixel perfect in her image placement for it to work. Oftentimes I would have solved a puzzle in my first attempt if the game was not so butthurt about its placement. I am also sure you heard about the torch bug, the one which blocks your progression, the one which completely locks you out and you have to replay the first 5 hours of the game again. That happens to me. Seriously, this is the most frustrated I have been in a very long time while playing a game. The beautiful aesthetics did not save it. Sorry fans of the game, but f*** Senua. Never again.
You deserve after all you've done.
Robotics. I got this game for free a few years ago and I'm very sorry I did. Just like Senua, giving me money would not make me play it again. Ugh, I had to do it for this video, but oh man, I won't touch it after this. This is a game made for mobile devices. However, nothing was changed to make the PC gaming experience better or at least semi-decent. The menus are intrusive and confusing. The game just drops you in with no explanation. You have no idea what to do and you die time and time again. Why do you die? Well, because the button layout is absurd. I mean, Z fires missiles, U brings up the menu, X uses the jetpack. What? The game lies to you. It tells you can change the controls, but you actually can't. And you're stuck with what you get. You can't take a break because the screen is constantly moving. The resolution is horrid, making everything blurry at times. Yep, no redeeming factors for a game, I'm afraid. Don't play it. Bad Rats, The Rat's Revenge. This has been a joke game for quite some time. People often bought it in bulk and splatter it around the internet as a gag. Whoever plays it gets bamboozled. Well, I was one of these people. I got it as a gift on Steam, knew about how supposedly bad it was, but I didn't think anything about it and said to myself, surely it can't be that bad, right? Well, it turns out yes it can. Let's ignore the graphics and the music for a second, shall we? Yeah, they're ugly and awful to listen to. Playing anything else over the music would be better. Even a turtle humping a different turtle sounds nicer. Anyway, ignoring that crap. This is a physics game, where the physics are not consistent. Once your mouse would do something, you would say, aha, I'll move it 2 steps to the left and that will work. Nope, the mouse does a 360 and goes in a completely different direction. The UI is obnoxious too. You can't see where you're clicking, moving the screen is a pain, many objectives are often hidden. I actually beat the first maybe 5 puzzles without knowing that you can scroll the screen down a bit more to get some extra items. I did it the extremely hard way with only the basics. Bad Rats lived up to its name, a terrible experience, and I'm sorry I played it. And that concludes the video, guys. All the butthurt people over Senua and Just Cause, please let me know why you like these games, so I can understand the madness that goes into your mind. The rest of you, let me know what your most hated games are. I won't play them, but I wanna know what to avoid. Leave a like if you're not a butthurt fanboy of Senua and subscribe for more top 10 lists. Thank you for watching.